How you doing, everybody? Mr. Wonderful here with a belt review, and going away from my traditional video format where you see my ugly face for a few minutes and then we get to the belt. I'm just getting to the nitty gritty here. This is the WWE shop Crumrine Big Gold, aka the Shoprine. And you've seen plenty of reviews of this on YouTube already. I'm just one of them. 100 reviews of the Big Gold, the Shoprine. But I figured I'd do it in my way, my little style. So here we go. The first thing that I thought when I opened this up was, holy cow, this is a lot better than I thought. Video will show you so much of this belt. And you know, once you see it though, once you really get it in front of you, you're like, holy cow, this is actually a really good belt. And, you know, WWE Shop is putting out some really quality belts these days. It ain't the Figures Inc. days. It ain't. Remember the first version of the WCW Big Gold belt that was, I remember watching it on HSN or the Home Shopping Network or whatever the hell it's called. And Goldberg was promoting it. And I'm like, holy shit, a wrestling belt? And when I bought it, I definitely ordered it. And when I got it to my house, flat as a pancake, details weren't that great. It just looked silly. And back then, before I knew anything about belts, this was the only thing that was out there. I was like, this is trash back then, but it's a belt, you know? This is by far, they come a long way from that WCW belt here. And I got to say, this is probably one of my favorite, this is the favorite WWE shop belt that's out there for me personally. I've always wanted a Crumrine. I didn't want to pay the astronomical prices that these bootleggers are charging, or even secondhand, $2,000. I'm like, hell no. I'm sorry. I love my belts. Okay, don't get me wrong. And I've paid for top dollar, right, for several belts. This one's an SD, but a lot of money, right? So I'm not opposed to spending money on a belt. But if I wanted to get a handcrafted Shoprine, who knows what, they're over $2,000. This was $350, okay? And I got it secondhand. But enough of me talking. And if you haven't seen any of the other hundreds of Shoprine videos out there doing a review of this, I'm going to do mine. This is the version 3, okay? And we're going to start with the top. Let's just take a look at the floral pattern. Look at that. That is beautiful. The way it's etched, it's nice, okay? There are a couple of things about this belt that I'm like, but overall I'm pretty happy here, right? So the floral pattern, I guess it's supposed to mimic it being carved in. I don't know, but it's elevated. I don't really know if the Crumrine is the same, you know, if it's carved in or if it's elevated like this a little bit. I'm assuming it is, you know. The background, the chrome or the silver part isn't quite like the actual Crumrine. This is kind of like, I don't know. It's just random bumps where the Shoprine, it was like, almost like, it was almost like the pattern to it. I don't know how to explain it, but I think those of you who have examined the Shoprine know what I'm talking, or the Crumrine know what I'm talking about, the background. I like how they also added a little dots to the in between the floral patterns. And I would say these little dots are more accurate, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, to the Crumrine, where the way it's dotted here would be more like around here, right? I'd have to try to picture a picture of Crumrine there. But those are the grapplers. They're really nice. And then the crown. The crown has some pretty good detail. I'm no Shoprine connoisseur, So I don't know how accurate or close to accurate it is, but I think it's really nice. It's really nice. Check that out. Beautiful. And then you have the globe, which isn't identical to the Crumrine, but they do a hell of a good job. It's really nice. And of course, nameplate, which right now they're not selling any. I would like one. Ric Flair, obviously, but you know, eventually I'm sure they'll sell it, or I'll have to buy one from some other maker. And you know, the side plates are you know, more of the floral pattern and the grapplers. And then you have the ruby holders. This is a really nice belt. I mean, check it out. Like, and the thickness I think is pretty good. And the fact that the rope border goes around fully, like it goes around to the other side, that's pretty neat. That's a pretty nice touch. And it does make the belt look thicker. If I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but the Crumrine itself wasn't that thick either, right? Maybe I heard 2 millimeters for the main plate, and then obviously the rope border made it look a little thicker. But I think, and you know, like you see the Fandu's version, at least the first domed version of the thing was like, what was it, 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters? Overkill. Sorry, overkill. All their belts that had that 8 millimeter thickness, overkill. It just, this looks really nice. It looks thin and the way it should be. I like it. Now, okay. What are the things that I'm not really like too keen on this belt? There's a couple of things that look like mistakes to me. They're not on the real belt. So right here, that splooch there and there. It looks like everything was going good and bloop, like, you know, like I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't recall seeing that on the real belt. And there's a couple of other splooches, I like to call them, along the whole thing. And I think that kind of takes away from, I mean, really not noticeable. I mean, unless you're looking for it, but it's there. What's that splooch right there? It just looks like, oops, extra metal melted onto that spine, and no one's going to notice. I noticed. But otherwise, everything else is nice. This is a beautiful belt. The other pet peeve that I have with this belt is that it's still not shiny enough. This has like almost a matte finish. I know they try to change it up in the different versions, but I'm not really, you know, that's the one thing that I kind of want to figure out how to modify. I hear people have done the clear coat. Personally, when they did the before and after, I couldn't tell the difference. Again, in video, it's probably hard to see the difference, you know. But those are the two things that I'm not a fan of. These splooches, I'm gonna call them sploochies, and the fact that this has like a matte finish. What were they thinking? Like, why not make it shiny? Why not make this thing bling the fuck out? Ric Flair came out with this thing. Mr. Wheel and Dealing, Kiss Steel, and fucking Rolex watches and private jets. You're not going to come out and make this as shiny as hell? Come on now. WWE. Right? And then, okay. Now we got the leather, which if you look at it, it's thicker than the plate itself. And it's very stiff. Not stiff, but that's what she said. Had to do it. But it's a WWE shop strap. What do you expect? I want to find somebody who does a send out strap, or hopefully they start doing it soon. I will gladly pay for a send out strap, and then I think this belt will be great. So most of the WWE belts that I buy that you've seen on my channel, the United States Championship belt, for example, I resold because there was something about it that made it not seem real. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say real, I'm talking like bootlegs, ring usable, you know, belts like that. Not a Shoprine, not a manufactured belt. This is nice, and it's going to stay in my collection. I am not selling this bad boy. I am not selling this bad boy. Let's take a look at the letters. I don't think I concentrated on the letters. Crisp, nice, raised. I don't believe the pattern, the dotted pattern on these letters is accurate. But again, that's very minor stuff. Very minor stuff. The back, if you want to see the back, I guess, here it is. It's your standard back. But if I'm not mistaken either, the original Crumrine didn't have a backing. So hence why the send-out strap would be nice, you know. So if anybody knows somebody does send-out straps, hook a brother up. All right. So one last flyover of the belt. You can see it's not shiny, right? You can tell from this shot right here that the finish is like a matte finish. See what I'm saying? Not bad. There's a splooch. There's that sploochy woochies. Right? I mean, if I bring you here. Oh, look at that. Shiny. Matted. Shiny. Hey, look at that. I got both premier belts of that era side by side. The Winged Eagle. Hello, Wingy. Beautiful. And the Shoprine. All right. Ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this belt review. If you're on the fence about this belt, I say go for it. Go for it. It is... Look, I think there's a sale right now for $317 for this belt. I mean, it's worth it. And from here, like, look, if you were to look at this, could you tell if it was made by Shoprine without obviously seeing that? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. This is a really nice belt. So go ahead, pick it up. You won't be sorry, and get it releathered. Get it releathered. I'm going to do that. Once I find somebody that does a send-out strap, I'm going to pay that guy my money, and I'm going to get me that send-out strap. All right? And you know what? I gotta find somebody to releather this belt. It's splitting, and I think I might want to go with the other cut. You know what? This is not a review of this belt. We were talking about this. Okay, go buy yourself a Shoprine. All right, this is Mr. Wonderful saying peace out.